9 celebrities who kicked out of school. 1. Robert Pattinson. Robert stole porn magazines at a store. He then resold them to his classmates. Pattinson would steal 1 or 2 mags at first.
I was in my school uniform when I was doing it, and it was kind of risky. At the end I got so cocky that I would take the entire rack.
He was caught by the store owner. The school was called, as were Robert's parents.
Basically, a couple of days later, everything fell down. Every single one of my friends snitched on me, literally across the board.
2. Salma Hayek. Salma went to the Academy of the Sacred Heart in New Orleans. As a Catholic school, it was understandably strict. But Salma couldn't refrain from playing pranks on the nuns. Once, she set their clocks back 3 hours. This got her expelled, and Salma had to finish school in Mexico. 3. Charlie Sheen. Sheen did graduate from high school in 2013. In 1983, he was expelled for poor attendance. His parents said he'd have to go to summer school. That was the only way to get back to school.
My response was, "There's school during the summer. That's crazy. I could think of nothing worse than my first summer of freedom after all that time."
So Charlie left school for good. He got his diploma 30 years later. 4. Owen Wilson. Wilson was kicked out for cheating on his math exam.
I got called into the headmaster's office, and he handed me a geometry problem and told me to do it. When I couldn't, he pointed out that I had just completed a similar one on the exam.
Wilson's dad was on the school's board of directors. It didn't help. 5. Snoop Dogg. Snoop was expelled from a school for gifted kids. He only managed to attend Cleveland Elementary for 1 year.
They kicked me out the second year because I showed the little girl my little thing. I was in the lunch line and she said something to me real crazy. I didn't know how to defend myself, so I just unzipped my zipper.
Snoop had to transfer to a regular school. 6. Keanu Reeves. Keanu went to 4 different high schools in 5 years. He was a good enough student, but Keanu just didn't fit in.
I had conflicts and run-ins with the staff. The principal and I didn't see eye to eye. I was one of those why kids. I asked too many questions about everything. I couldn't stop even if it got me into trouble.
Keanu ultimately got expelled at 16.
It's a terrible letter to receive, saying you can't come back to school next year. Getting asked to leave was very upsetting.
7. Kevin Spacey. Spacey has always been a troublemaker. One day, he set his little sister's treehouse on fire. Frustrated, his folks sent him to military school. It didn't work. Kevin was expelled for hurling a tire at another kid's head. 8. Richard Branson. Branson was dating the headmaster's daughter. When he was found out, he concocted a bizarre plan.
I wrote this suicide note to someone I knew would open it immediately and go straight to the headmaster.
He then headed to a clifftop spot. Everyone thought he was going to jump. The headmaster offered to thrash him instead. Branson accepted. Ultimately, he left school to start a business. 9. Stephen Fry. Fry was expelled from 2 high schools. He simply didn't turn up for his final exams. In the end, Fry went into a tailspin. He stole a credit card and was arrested. Fry begged his teachers to let him finish his studies. He still had to spend 3 months in prison.